Q open.
Talent, check your spot.
Camera 4, check your focus.
Carol, make sure the phone guests are standing by. Okay, Don, we're ready out here.
Okay, thanks. Let's rock and roll. Count them in.
10, 9,
Here we go.
8,
Flying graphic.
7,
Camera 2, I'm going to be coming to you
5,
first. Stand by to Q mark.
4, 3, 2.
And Q mark.
We're seeing the media, of course, put their spin on things. There's a story that we've talked about here before with Laura Smith, who died from an abortion in Massachusetts. Anyway, it's come back up now because this guy's losing his license, his privileges and so forth, and maybe going to jail, hopefully, the abortionist that did this. But the media is trying to put a spin on here, and I just saw this first paragraph in here. A lawyer for the family of a woman who allegedly died. How do you allegedly die?
Yeah, right.
Anyhow,
Golly.
Either you're dead or you're not. I think she's allegedly dead. Anyway, during an abortion procedure at an unlicensed facility. This was an open abortion clinic that she went to. This was, and we've seen this, for example, how they'll spin things. This is a perfect example of it. When I wrote, you mentioned line 5 a minute ago. When I wrote that, we did research on how many women we could find that had died from abortion. We found a 2-year period where the CDC said 2 women died in this 2-year period nationwide from abortion. And we already had more documentation here than that. And so we just looked at those 2 years. And with our little meager resources here, with, small staff, tiny budget, we found 16 women here, just without leaving this office, that we could document had died from legal abortion during that 2-year period that the CDC said there were 2.
Right.
We picked out one of them to see, okay, here was one that we had the autopsy, we had the ambulance run sheet, we had the death certificate, we had everything here to show that this woman had died from an abortion. On the ambulance run sheet, it showed that she was picked up at an abortion clinic, and it said that she was DOA. She was picked up at the abortion clinic. She was dead when they picked her up, but she was ruled dead at the hospital when they brought her there. How did this one not get counted? And we knew this was one that didn't get counted.
Did they say it was pregnancy related?
Yeah, they eventually said that. But when we started looking at it, what we found out was they discovered the CDC, which we proved was run by practicing abortionists. The abortion surveillance branch at the CDC is run at that time by David Grimes, who was moonlighting as an abortionist at the Atlanta Surgery Center Abortion Clinic in Atlanta, Georgia. So obviously they're covering up all the injuries and deaths. What we discovered was that they found out the abortionist who killed her, and this was an abortion clinic that was advertised in the newspaper, had signs out in front, had an 800 number. It was a fully operating business. But they found out that he had allowed his medical license to lapse, which you might, like, for example, do something similar to that if you let your driver's license lapse. But that doesn't mean you still can't drive, or you go down, you get your license renewed, you pay your little $15 a year or whatever it is, and you go on about your business. That's what he had done, which is not uncommon for doctors to do. They just forget to re-up their medical license. But because he had done that, the CDC labeled that as an illegal abortion clinic, and therefore that was an illegal abortion, and they didn't have to count it as a death from legal abortion. And and the media plays into this. Mm-hmm. This is an example of this right here. They're spinning this thing saying this was an unlicensed facility. Well, what if there's an operating abortion clinic out here, and we see this all the time, where pro-lifers discovered that the abortion clinic doesn't have a license for something similar to this. Does the state come in and close them down? No, they don't. They never do. So they're trying to have their cake and eat it too here.
That's right.
That's exactly
just anything to cover up abortion, yeah.
And then in the end, they'll say that the death from an abortion was actually pregnancy related. So then you get the statistics that it's actually more dangerous to be a pregnant woman than it is to have abortion. Yeah, so that's when abortion suddenly becomes safer.
Well, I wrote about that in line 5 because I used that example I just gave you about the one in Florida. I said this counts as a twofer.
It's disgusting, yeah, because it's a hit against us as well.
Because it didn't count against abortion.
Right.
And then the death certificate listed as a complication due to pregnancy.
Yep.
And so they say, see, abortion's safer than pregnancy. Well, yeah, if you count all your abortion deaths as pregnancy deaths,
pregnancy,
then
yeah.
yes, it's going to be safer.
The American women are being lied to because you see that thrown around all the time and held up
Right.
on poster boards at rallies, and it's so ignorant. Like, look into it and find out what you're actually saying.
Well, that's it for this month, and don't ever forget, Life Dynamics is not here to put up a good fight. We're here to win, because winning is how the killing stops. We'll see you in August.